It's that time of year again. All Hallows Eve, Halloween, the time where we love to scare ourselves and also eat a lot of candy. If you remember, last year I made a collab with my friend Overlord 1469 about out some more disturbing Ninjago moments. Well, for this year's Halloween video, let's do a new spin on this. And today, I'll be counting down who I think are the top 10 most terrifying slash evil Ninjago villains of all time. Now, I'm not going to count side villains such as Scales or Kozu since they don't really count. And I have considered this list based on 4 factors: backstory, voice, design, and actions. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Pythor P. Chumsworth. This Anaconda is the last of his kind, and he is at this list for some of the heinous things he has done over the course of his tenure on the series. He is implied to have eaten his entire tribe, but that hasn't been confirmed by Tommy Andreasen. Also, he used Lloyd as a puppet just to do his own evil bidding. Then he unites all the Serpentine to reawaken the Great Devourer, which led to the deaths of many people, including the parents of another villain. We'll get into this list later. However, ever since then, he was then eaten alive by the Great Devourer and came back with a new white purplish scheme. There, he helped the Overlord with his bidding, and then helped the ninja to defeat Chen and his fake Anaconda army. His final appearance so far is Day of the Departed, where he faced Lloyd in a battle, with him eventually scurrying away. Now, I know he has made an appearance in the Legacy shorts, but those do not count, since those were more augmentations, as Zane said. But the atrocities that Pythor committed are nothing compared to some of the other villains later down on this list, hence his position. The Omega. The Omega is an Oni. In Japanese, the word Oni means demon or devil, and this perfectly showcases in his design. This design is horrifying. If this was a list of the most terrifying Ninjago villain designs, he'd most likely be at number 1, but this list isn't about that. While he does lack a backstory and a personality, and his actions aren't really that widespread and atrocious like some of the other members on this list, his design and voice perfectly make up for that by giving a terror sounding like a demon from the depths of hell. But due to his lack of backstory and not so atrocious actions in the Ninjago universe, he is only at number 9 on this list. Kalmar. Kalmar is a Merlopian who despises the surface world and wants to prove that he is superior to all other sentient beings. In order to prove this point, he murders his own father, the king of Merlopia, King Trimar, with hit with Kalmar's own spear, or trident, whatever it is called. And because of this action, he has to lie and cover up about it, originally blaming the ninja for murdering his father, and then lying to his adoptive brother, Benthomar, about the incident. When Benthomar later hears the truth from his dying father, he refuses to accept it, even though that Kalmar never truly gave love to him, he still viewed him as a brother. Until that very moment when he realized just how much of a monster he is. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing and wants to drown the world, especially Ninjago City, in water. However, his position this low on this list is the same as Omega's. Lack of a backstory and other atrocities from other villains being placed higher on this list, hence his position in number 8. Iron Baron. Iron Baron was the villain of the First Realm side plot in Hunted, and while he is incredibly underdeveloped, he is no doubt one evil son of a bitch. He lied to his crew, quote unquote, just for his own desires of capturing Oni. He lies about them to spread fear amongst the dragon hunters, and he does it for his own self-interests. It is unknown whether these lies have killed anyone, since the show doesn't showcase any of this, but it would be understandable to see why he would have killed people throughout these lies. He is also known to have killed the Ultra Dragon, the main ninja dragon that the ninja had for the first few seasons, and thus making him a much more despised figure than he ever should have been. Luckily, he gets his just desserts towards the end of the First Realm plot by being burned alive by Firstborn. The Overlord. No, not Overlord X and not Overlord 1469, but the Overlord that inspired both of those Overlords. This Overlord is part of the actual balance between lightness and dark. He can never truly be killed. No matter how many times the ninja defeat him, he is part of the balance, and he will be there forever and ever and ever. He always will come back. He mostly has other people doing his work for him, such as Garmadon, Pythor, and Cryptor, but that's just the start of what he has done. He has possessed Garmadon and made him look like a horrifying figure straight out of a horror movie. And this horrifying figure only gets worse as the last 2 episodes of Season 2 progress. He comes back once again in Season 3, albeit in a much more blander state. And like I said before, Pythor and Cryptor do his bidding. He returns one more time in Decoded, even though the canonicity of Decoded is up for debate. He apparently returns after corrupting Zane, even though later in Decoded it is proven that this is not the Overlord, but rather just pieces of the Overlord that have survived thanks to Zane's sacrifice back in Rebooted. The Overlord can never truly die. He can always will come back. Hopefully he returns for one more final showdown with the ninja before his character is retired. Narakan the Jinn. Narakan is a Jinn, Ninjago's version of a genie, but unlike a regular genie, he will twist your word and make you regret what you have wished until he says you can wish it all away. And once you do, you are trapped either in the Teapot of Tyran or in the Sword of Souls. He is a master manipulator, and he has done one of the most evil actions in the entire show by dating a teenage girl and forcing her to marry him. In a way, Ninjago's equivalence of rape. He is also the captain of the pirate crew Misfortune's Keep, and while he is at first very loyal to his crew, when the crew start rebelling against him, he just doesn't give a shit anymore, and in the finale, he banishes Clancy, Doubloon, and Monkey Reg, leaving only Flintlock and Dogshank to help the ninja finally defeat their former captain. The funny thing is, he never truly loved Delara or Nia. He did it for his own sake. Similar to Iron Baron, he did it for his own self-interest. And that is what puts him in the top 5 in this video. The Skull Sorcerer. The Skull Sorcerer, also known as King Vangelis, is the ruler of the Ivory Kingdom of Shintaro, or, well, at least he was until the finale of Master of the Mountain. He will do anything to protect his kingdom, and that includes running a slave operation to collect Vegstone, and this is a mystery that is still wondering to this day. He somehow found a customer willing to pay for all that Vegstone. But who is it? Only time will tell. But running a slave operation is similar to how the United States once had its own slavery operation by using black people to work under white people. But he also disowned his own daughter when he was revealed to be the Skull Sorcerer. He did it for the sake of his child, and basically he didn't want Vanya to join the ninja and stop his actions. But Vanya did so anyway, and therefore Vangelis disowned his own daughter. It is also implied that he got the Skull of Hazador just for the sake of power, similar to Narakan the Jinn and Iron Baron doing stuff for the sake of power. And it's implied that the slavery operation, he's been doing this for years, since in a flashback in one particular episode, Vanya is still a kid when all this happens. So if that is the case, then this makes him a monster to be reckoned with. A monster that has been able to get away with his actions for a long, long time. Hence why he's at number 4 on this position. Harumi, also known as the Quiet One. Harumi was just your standard girl until the Great Devourer attack took the one thing that truly meant any worth to her. Her parents were unfortunately killed in the attacks, and she blamed the ninja for their actions because Garmadon was the one who saved the city, according to her. And then she was adopted by the royal family, the royal family of Ninjago, only to have later been killed by Harumi's own hand. And Harumi's own gang that she was a part of, the Sons of Garmadon. She develops this twisted mindset that the ninja must pay for the actions that led to the deaths of her parents. And by doing so, she targets and singles out Lloyd, pretending to be in a relationship with him, and then stabs him in the back, breaking his heart, and making him a lot more vulnerable and a lot more easier to manipulate than what he once was. As a result, she gets the upper hand and gets the final Oni mask, the Mask of Hatred, and her plan eventually led to the resurrection of Lloyd's previously dead father, Garmadon, who we'll get to later, and Harumi enjoys every single moment of Lloyd's suffering. She is a sadist and psychopath who will do absolutely anything to watch Lloyd suffer, hence her high position on this list. Master Chen. Master Chen is the main villain of the 4th season, titled Tournament of Elements, but he has a backstory that goes further or beyond this. He has been known to have purposely created the war between the Elemental Masters and the Serpentine, and he did it just for his own pleasure, even though he manipulated both sides, just like Emperor Palpatine in the Star Wars franchise. But if you thought this was a one-and-done situation, think again. He does it once again with the tournament by sapping everyone of their power just for the sake of his own, because according to him, he had no power, and power makes him insignificant. And basically, he uses his own daughter as a crutch for his own plans, which is incredibly messed up, and creates another Serpentine war as a result. The fact that this man purposely created 2 wars just for the sake of his own pleasure makes him a crazy son of a bitch, and definitely deserving of the number 2 position on this list. Emperor Garmadon. Yeah, even though I'm not a huge fan of this character, I cannot deny how evil this man has become. Not the one man that we all once knew. This man shows no remorse, no conscience, no weakness. He has nearly murdered his son multiple times, has killed Mr. E, nearly killed Harumi, implied to have killed Mistake, and went on a psychotic rampage when Harumi was found dead. He will stop at nothing to destroy Lloyd in seasons 8 and 9, and once he is defeated, he is slowly starting to accept that he might be a good person after all. So, maybe not all these villains are true monsters. But anyways, what do you guys think? Who do you think is the most evil villain, most terrifying villain in the Ninjago series? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell to receive every single video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye bye. Happy Halloween.